morning, dear children. Let us start the new lesson, respiration in organisms. Respiration in organisms. You know, all living things that need energy to live. Okay, and the plants that obtain energy from the food they make. Animals obtain energy from the food they eat. We also obtain, or we too obtain energy from the food we eat. Okay, and here the carbohydrates that present in the food, that is actually broken down into glucose. That is already we learned. Okay, the carbohydrates that present in the food, that is broken down into glucose. Actually, glucose is a kind of sugar. Okay, glucose is a kind of sugar. Okay, and the glucose actually that is transported to every cell of the body through blood. Okay, the glucose actually that is transported to every cell of the body through blood. Okay, and the cell of the body obtain energy from the glucose through a process called respiration. Isn't it? The cell of the body actually obtain energy from glucose through a process called respiration. Okay, then what do you mean by respiration? The cell of the body that obtain energy from glucose through a process called respiration. Okay, the cell of the body that obtain energy from glucose through a process called respiration. Isn't it? And here actually the respiratory system that works with the circulatory system. Okay, the respiratory system that works with what? The circulatory system in order to deliver oxygen from the atmosphere to every cell of the body. Okay, what is the purpose of it? Actually, these two works together. Actually, the respiratory system that works with what? The circulatory system in order to deliver oxygen from the atmosphere to every cell of the body. Okay, and here the respiration actually involves three processes. Okay, then what are the processes that is involved in respiration? The breathing, then gaseous exchange and cellular respiration. Okay, breathing, gaseous exchange and cellular respiration. Okay, what are the three processes that is involved in respiration? Breathing, gaseous exchange and cellular respiration. These are the three processes that is involved in respiration. Okay, let's see the first process that is involved in respiration. That is actually breathing. Okay, that is actually the breathing. This is the first process that is involved in respiration. Okay, actually breathing is a continuous process. Okay, breathing is a continuous process in which you breathe in and breathe out air from the body. Okay, breathing is a continuous process in which you breathe in and breathe out air from the body. Okay, actually it is a involuntary action controlled by brain. Actually breathing is a involuntary action controlled by brain. Actually involuntary action means what? Actually it is a type of muscle movement which do not require thinking. Okay, which do not require thinking. Okay, actually it is a continuous process. Breathing is a continuous process. Okay, why breathing is called an involuntary action? Because it do not require thinking. Okay, it do not require thinking. That is why the breathing is called an involuntary action. Okay, breathing is considered as an involuntary action. Okay, and when we breathe in, what will happen? Our body got a fresh supply of oxygen. Okay, when we breathe in, our body receives a constant supply of oxygen. And when we breathe out, what will happen here? The carbon dioxide produced is actually produced in the body is removed. Okay, and when we breathe in, our body get constant supply of oxygen. And when we breathe out, what will happen? The carbon dioxide produced in the body is actually removed. Okay, and here you know what is breathing actually? Breathing is a continuous process. Okay, breathing is a continuous process in which you breathe in and breathe out air from the body. And here breathing is an involuntary action which is controlled by brain. Involuntary action means this type of muscle movement that is that do not require thinking. Okay, that is why the breathing is called an involuntary action. Okay, and when we breathe in, our body will get a continuous or a fresh supply of oxygen. And when we breathe out, the carbon dioxide produced in the body is actually removed. Okay, and here the breathing actually that involves two processes. The breathing that involves two processes. Are the two processes there? Actually, inhalation and exhalation. Inhalation and exhalation. Okay, breathing involves two processes. That is, first is inhalation and the second is exhalation. Okay, then what is mean by inhalation? What is mean by inhalation? The process of taking of air into the body, that is called inhalation, isn't it? What is inhalation? The process of taking of air into the body, that is called inhalation. Then what is mean by exhalation? What is mean by exhalation? The process of giving out of air from the body, that is called exhalation. The process of giving out of air from the body is called exhalation. Okay, got it? Here breathing that involves two processes. First is inhalation and the second is exhalation. Then what is inhalation? The process of taking of air into the body, that is called inhalation. Then what is exhalation? The process of giving out of air from the body, that is called exhalation. Okay. And the next is breathing rate. The next is what? Breathing. Breathing rate means actually the number of times a person breathes in a minute. That is called breathing rate. Okay, what do you mean by breathing rate? The number of times a person breathes in a minute. Okay, that is in 1 minute, how many times a person breathes? That is called breathing rate. Okay, what is mean by breathing rate? The number of times a person breathes in a minute. Okay, the number of times a person breathes in a minute, that is called breathing rate. Okay, and here actually a breathing includes both inhalation and exhalation. Okay, on inhalation and on exhalation that constitute a breath. Isn't it? A breath includes both inhalation and exhalation. Okay, and here the breathing rate is actually it is not a constant. It can change. Okay, actually it is changed in accordance with the requirement of oxygen by the body. Okay, the breathing rate is actually it is not a constant. It can change. Actually, it depends on the breathing rate. It depends upon the requirement of oxygen by the body. The breathing rate depends upon the requirement of oxygen by the body. Okay, suppose if we are doing a heavy work, there our body requires more oxygen. Okay, suppose if we are doing heavy work, that time, or we are playing outdoor game, that time our body requires more amount of oxygen. Okay, so here the breathing, that time the breathing rate is high. Okay, suppose when we are at rest or we are sleeping, we require less amount of oxygen. So that time the breathing rate is actually 14 or 16 times in a minute. Suppose when we are at rest, what is our breathing rate? 14 or 16. 14 to 16 times in a minute. Suppose when we are at rest. Okay, suppose after running, actually after running our breathing rate increases to 16 times per minute. Okay, that is after running our body requires more amount of oxygen. That time our breathing rate increases to 60 times in minute. Okay, actually that is about the breathing rate. You know what is breathing rate? the number of times a person breathes in a minute, that is called the breathing rate. Actually, the breathing rate that depends upon the requirement of oxygen by the body. Okay, actually a breathing that includes both inhalation and exhalation. Okay, that is about the breathing range. The next is breathing and chest cavity. Breathing and chest cavity. Okay, suppose when you place your hand on your chest, we can observe that our chest rises and falls as we breathe in and breathe out. Okay, our chest rises and falls when you breathe in and breathe out. Okay, you know, why does this happen? Okay, let's see. Okay, you know, below the rib cage, actually rib cage means it is an arrangement of ribs. Actually, it protects our lungs and heart. Okay, rib cage is an arrangement of ribs that encloses and protects our lungs and heart. Okay, and below the rib cage there is a sheet of muscles that is known as diaphragm. Okay, below the rib cage there is a sheet of muscles that is known as diaphragm. Okay, and here this diaphragm contracts and relaxes all the time. This diaphragm contracts and relaxes all the time. Okay, and when the diaphragm contracts, what happens? It flattens actually. Okay, when the diaphragm contracts, what will happen? It gets flattens. So the chest cavity. Okay, and the space here, the space inside the chest cavity that increases. Okay, when the diaphragm that contracts and relaxes all the times. Okay, and when the diaphragm contracts, it gets flattens and it increases the space of the chest cavity. Okay, and it increases the space inside the chest cavity, and this make you breathe in. Okay, this make you breathe in, and your chest rises. Okay, so your chest rises. Okay, here when the diaphragm contracts, it gets flattened and increases the space of the chest cavity. Okay, when the diaphragm contracts, it gets flattened, and due to this the space inside the chest cavity that increases. Okay, and this make you breathe in, so your chest rises. Okay, and when the diaphragm relaxes, it decreases the space inside the chest cavity. Okay, when the diaphragm relaxes means it gives more space, so the space inside the chest cavity that automatically decreases. Okay, this make you breathe out. This make you breathe out, so your chest moves inwards. That means it falls. Okay, and here that is about the breathing and chest cavity. Why does our chest rises and falls as you breathe in and breathe out? Okay, that is actually the question. Here, below the rib cage, what is rib cage? Actually, it is an arrangement of ribs that encloses and protects our lungs. Okay, and here below the rib cage there is a sheet of muscles. Below the rib cage there is a sheet of muscles that is actually known as diaphragm, and this diaphragm that contracts and relaxes all the time. Okay, and here when the diaphragm contracts, it gets flattened and the space inside the chest cavity increases, and this make you breathe in and the chest rises. Okay, and when the diaphragm relaxes, the space inside the chest cavity that will decreases. Okay, that will decreases, and this make you breathe out. and your chest moves inwards. Isn't it? And that is about what? Breathing and chest cavity. Let's see the difference between inhalation and exhalation. The difference between inhalation and exhalation. The first is in inhalation actually the diaphragm contracts and flattens. That thing you know during inhalation. That is when you breathe in. What happens to diaphragm? Diaphragm contracts and flattens. And during exhalation, the diaphragm relaxes and becomes dome-shaped. Okay. During exhalation, the diaphragm relaxes and becomes dome-shaped. Okay, that is the first difference. During inhalation, diaphragm contracts and flattens, and during exhalation, diaphragm relaxes and becomes dome-shaped. Okay. Then when diaphragm contracts, what happens to chest cavity? Its volume increases. The volume of chest cavity increases. But during exhalation, the volume of chest cavity decreases. Okay, that is the second difference. During inhalation, the volume of chest cavity increases. But during exhalation, the volume of chest cavity decreases. Okay. The next is during inhalation, the lungs expand, but during exhalation, lungs contract. Okay. During inhalation, lungs expand, and during exhalation, lungs contract. Okay. The last difference is during inhalation, air flows into the lungs. That you know, during inhalation, air flows into the lungs, and during exhalation, air is forced out of the lungs. Okay, during exhalation, air is forced out of the lungs. Okay, these are the differences between inhalation and exhalation. Okay, during inhalation, the diaphragm contracts and flattens, and during exhalation, diaphragm relaxes and becomes dome-shaped. Okay, and the second difference is during inhalation, the volume of chest cavity increases, but during exhalation, the volume of chest cavity decreases. And during inhalation, the lungs expand, but during exhalation, the lungs contract. And the last difference is during inhalation, air flows into the lungs, and during exhalation, air is forced out of the lungs. Next about human respiratory system. Human respiratory system. Okay, here what happens to the air that you breathe in? Okay, what happens to the air that you breathe in? Breathe in. That can be explained by the help of human respiratory system. Okay. Actually, the air you breathe in, that is actually passes through the nostril. Okay. The air you breathe in passes through which structure actually? Through nostril. Okay. Actually in the nostril there is hair and mucus that present in the nostril. Okay. Actually that what is the function of this nostril? Actually air passes that is into the nostril. Okay. The air you breathe actually that passes through the nostril. Okay. The air you breathe that passes through the nostril, and the nostril that contains mucus and hair. Okay. Actually that traps dust and germs present in the air. Okay. That is the function of actually the nostril. Okay. The hair and mucus present in the nostrils that trap dust and germs present in the air. Okay. Also this nostril that bomb the air so as to match the body temperature. Okay. The nostril also bomb the air so as to match the body temperature. Okay. The air that you breathe in actually that passes through nostril, and the nostril that contains water, mucus and hair, and which traps dust and organisms that present in air. And also nostril bomb the air that match with the body temperature. After that the air that passes through another structure called trachea. Okay. First it passes through nostril, then after that it goes to a tube-like structure that is called the trachea. Okay. the air passes through a tube-like structure that is called what? Trachea. Okay, trachea is also known as windpipe. Another name of trachea is actually the windpipe. Okay, and here the trachea also contains mucus. Okay, also contains mucus which also trap dust and microorganisms. Okay, the trachea also traps dust and microorganisms. Okay, then this trachea, after that it divides at the lower end into narrow tubes called bronchi. Okay, here the trachea at the lower end that further divides into different branches, that is called bronchi. Okay, the trachea divides at the lower end into narrow tubes, that is called bronchi. Okay, then the bronchi again further divides into numerous extremely narrow tubes. The bronchi also divided into extremely narrow tubes in each lung. Okay, in each lung. These tubes that open into tiny air sac, that is called actually alveoli. Okay, and these narrow tubes again enters into air sacs, that is called alveoli. Okay, actually each lungs that made up of millions of these alveoli. Each lung is made up of millions of alveoli. Okay, actually that is about the human respiratory system. And here when you breathe in, that air enters through nostril, and the nostril that contains hair and mucus, and which trap the dust and organisms that present in air. Okay. Then after that, then air that enters into a tube-like structure, that is called trachea. Trachea is otherwise called windpipe. Trachea is otherwise called windpipe. Okay, this trachea also trap dust, also contains mucus. The trachea also contains what? Mucus, which also trap dust and microorganisms. Okay, and this trachea divides at the lower end, okay, into further divided into narrow tubes, that is called the bronchi. Okay, that is at the lower end, the trachea again divides into narrow tubes, that is called the bronchi. This bronchi further divided into minute narrow tubes in each lung. Okay, and these narrow tubes that enters into air sac, that is called the alveoli. These narrow tubes that enters into a air sac, that is actually called the alveoli. Okay, and here each lung is made up of millions of alveoli. Okay, listen it. Then what are the organs that involved in human respiratory system? First is the nostril, then trachea, then lung, then bronchi and alveoli. Okay, these are the important organs. Nostrils, then trachea, then lung, then bronchi and alveoli are the important structures that involved in the process of respiration, or the structures involved in human respiratory system. Okay. Okay, then what are the things that we have learned today? We learned about respiration, then what are the important processes involved in respiration, breathing, gaseous exchange and cellular respiration. Okay, then about inhalation and exhalation, then taking of air into the body is actually inhalation, then giving out of air from our body is actually exhalation. Then we have learned the difference between inhalation and exhalation. Then what is breathing rate? Breathing rate also we have studied. The number of times, or the what is actually breathing rate? The number of times a person breathes in a minute, actually, that is called the breathing rate. Actually, breathing rate that depends upon the requirement of oxygen by the body. Okay, next also we have learned the human respiratory system. Then what are the important structures in the human respiratory system? That is actually the nostril, then trachea, the lung, bronchi and alveoli. Okay, okay children, study well. That is the end of today's class. Thank you.